going on, everybody? How is everybody doing today? Welcome here today to my official, 2021 NBA trade deadline predictions. You guys should be seeing this on March 23rd, the Tuesday. And yeah, we are going to be predicting who's going to get traded and who I think won't get traded. So there is a bunch of big trade candidates. As you can see on Trade NBA, here are the most popular guys that are being put into the trade finder or into the trading machine. You can guess why, because why would you think Romeo Langford's there? Because it's probably going to cost Romeo Langford maybe to get Aaron Gordon. But yeah, we're going to just be going over, I think, 5, 10 or so players that I think could end up getting traded, and then I'll say that some players I think that won't get traded. So to start off, Aaron Gordon. I think Aaron Gordon is, I want to say, a definite. I think he's definitely going to get traded. Boston seems like it's the front runner for him, and they say they want, I think, 2 first-round picks and a young player. So maybe they give up their first this year. I probably would. And they're in 2023. Maybe it's a protected first. And then they look to also include Romeo Langford, who was a lottery pick in 2019, because I think that they'd prefer to give up Romeo Langford than Aaron Nesmith, because he's been in the rotation more. So if I had to guess, this is probably what happens. Now, there's been some rumors that the Celtics also want Evan Fournier, and he might just be leaving in free agency, so the Magic might be like, all right, we're going to move him anyway. But then a lot of people, or a lot of reports are showing that maybe they want Marcus Smart in return. And I don't think a trade like this will happen, and I don't even know if, okay, it will work. But I just can't see Boston giving up on Marcus Smart. He's still kind of the heart and soul of that team, and I just don't see it happening. So I think it's more like that Evan Fournier could be swapped or traded to a different team. Now, I would absolutely love to see Aaron Gordon in Denver, but I don't know if they would have anything that they would like in return. I think the Magic actually did say they like RJ Hampton, and I would give up RJ Hampton if that meant I could get Aaron Gordon. But it'd be something to make the money work. They might have to include Gary Harris, and he's looked at as a negative asset right now because he's got 2 years left on his deal. But it would have to maybe involve RJ Hampton and maybe a first, I don't know, in 2022 we can do. And then maybe it's something like this that can happen. And honestly, I prefer RJ Hampton over Romeo Langford. But it's do you prefer the 2 first-round picks or the 1 first-round pick? I don't know if they would give up RJ Hampton and 2 first, and then Gary Harris. But Gary Harris, people were saying, looked at as a negative asset. And then finally, I guess one other team that could be interested in trading for Aaron Gordon, but they might not have that premier young player, is the Portland Trailblazers. It would be Aaron Gordon going to Portland, and then who's the young player in return? Probably Zach Collins. He's 23. They might, they're definitely not trading Gary Trent. Maybe they prefer Anthony Simons, though. Maybe it's Anthony Simons going to the Magic. They might have to throw in, one of these guys to make the money work. Could it be something like this? Could it be something like this? I don't know. So we'll do 2022 top 8 protected first, trade that to the Magic, and then it's 2 young players and Anthony Simons and Zach Collins. That money doesn't even work. The Blazers can only take back $9.5 mil, so yeah, you'd have to put $8.5 mil in this trade. So Rodney Hood would probably have to be in it. Rodney Hood and Zach Collins. So Anthony Simons would be tough to even put in. So if we would probably have to undo that, we'd probably put in Rodney Hood. And then maybe it'd be 2 first-round picks. It would be, yeah, I guess it'd be 2 first-round picks and then maybe a 2025 first as well. Maybe this is the Aaron Gordon to Portland trade. Maybe they would have to give up that. I mean, if I'm Portland, I'd probably do that. And then you can actually have a pretty good starting 5 of Lillard, McCollum, Rocco, Gordon, and Nurkic with Melo and Gary Trent coming off the bench. Honestly, that's not that bad. So Aaron Gordon was kind of the first guy that could possibly get traded this trade deadline, and I think most likely he's going to end up in Boston. If not, it's Denver, but maybe, who knows, there's a surprise team out there, because it seems like there is always a surprise team when this stuff happens. Next up, we could talk about Lonzo Ball. We could just kind of go in this order. I do think Lonzo Ball will get traded as well. If I had to say yay or nay, I'm going yay. There's been talks about Lonzo Ball possibly going to the Clippers, but I just don't think the Clippers really have the assets to make that work, and anything really the Pelicans would want in return. I don't know, because you would have to get to 11 mil, which is tough, and you maybe have to include either Zubats, either Beverly, either Lou Will. Probably not. It'd probably be either Beverly or Zubats. Maybe they like Luke Kennard, but I doubt it. Maybe it's a Zubats and Patterson type trade, but I think it's more likely that they end up trading for George Hill than a Lonzo Ball, just because I don't think the money will work. Another team that has been interested, or that kind of shams came out that said that we're interested in Lonzo Ball, and now we're going to be listening to trades on Lowry Marketing, it's the Chicago Bulls. So a Marketing for Lonzo Ball swap could just be straight up could be interesting. It probably won't work, or I don't think it actually it will work. Okay, so yeah, I mean, they're both from the 2017 draft class. Markkanen was selected 7th, and Lonzo was selected 2nd. Both have been kind of reported or rumored not to be coming back to their teams next year. They're both going to be restricted free agents. And, yeah, I think the Bulls are looking for another playmaker / ball handler. Pelicans don't really need a guard here because they do have Eric Bledsoe and Kyrie Lewis, and they could look for kind of a player that could space the floor and maybe play some small ball 5. Don't know if Markkanen's really a fit for that, though. But that is an interesting trade. I do think Lonzo gets traded. I'm not really sure where he ends up getting traded to. Is it going to be the Bulls? Maybe. Maybe it is the Bulls. I think the Bulls would probably be my guess. But maybe the Knicks get involved. Maybe the Hornets with LaMelo out get in. I know it's lazy because of LaMelo and Lonzo, but I don't know. It would be interesting. Who would they want in return? I don't think they would want to give up Rozier. Maybe it's like Malik Monk and Devontae Graham. I'd do that if I were the Charlotte Hornets. But would the Pelicans do that? I don't know if they really like Devontae Graham that much. I think the Charlotte Hornets could make a play. Atlanta has also been rumored to go after Lonzo Ball. Don't think they would want to give up John Collins. I'm sure they would love to do Bogdan Bogdanovic for Lonzo Ball. I just don't think the Pelicans would want Bogdan's contract after he's having a very disappointing season after getting paid from the Hawks in the offseason. Like, you can honestly make it work. Like, if they just want, like, a first-round pick, you could probably do this trade with ease and get the Hawks here first-round pick. Maybe not this year, and it might be like a late 20s anyway, or a mid-20s. But yeah, like maybe something like this happens, even though the Hawks might prefer to have Tony Snell when they make the playoffs, or if they make the playoffs this year. But I think Lonzo will get traded. If I have to make a bet, you know what? I was going to say Chicago, but I'm going to go back, and I'm going to say, and maybe I'll say he ends up in Atlanta. Yeah, I think he'll end up in Atlanta. Okay, so John Collins, I'm not going to go into it because I don't think he will get traded. Kyle Lowry, I think he will get traded. I didn't think he was going to at least 2 weeks ago, but the Raptors, they're at rock bottom. They are. They just lost to the Rockets. Their 20-game losing streak ends. And I do think he will get traded to one of two teams. Maybe there's a sneaky surprise team in here, but I think it's going to come down to Philadelphia, or we'll get to the other team in a little bit, but like Kyle Lowry, and then in return, it's going to have to be Danny Green to make the money work. It's going to have to be Mike Scott, Terrence Ferguson, and I'm sure that Philly does not want to give up Matisse Thybulle or Tyrese Maxey, so a young player in return could be Isaiah Joe, and then their first-round pick this year. I think that's probably a reasonable trade. Obviously, they'll need some players from the Raptors going in this to make kind of the players work, because a 4-for-1 won't happen. But in the Raptors, they get a young player in Isaiah Joe. Maybe they liked him in the draft. I don't know. And then they get a first-round pick. I think this is the only way Philly would do it, because I'm sure Philly's going to not want to give up Danny Green, and then let alone not want to give up Tyrese Maxey or Matisse Thybulle, especially the way Matisse Thybulle's playing. So I think that's probably the likelihood for the Sixers getting it done. And then the other team is the Miami Heat. I think they could also be a pretty big Kyle Lowry suitor. And okay, we got an error here on the site. I'm sure there's a lot of site traffic here today, and that's why it's not going as fast. But yeah, I think the Heat could also get it done with ease. We got to get the other team involved, and they have a bunch of contracts to make it work. Probably better contracts, especially because they're 1-year deals. So like they could do. I mean, I'm sure they don't want to do Iguodala. What does RT mean? I'm not sure. Maybe something with trading, but like Ariza, who they just picked up. And maybe they don't want to give up Iguodala, but they might have to in this trade. So, like, if we did Iguodala, Ariza, and... Iguodala, Ariza... I'm sure, like, the young player, like, they might want Duncan Robinson. And maybe they don't want to give up Duncan Robinson, and maybe it's Kendrick Nunn in this trade. And maybe I'm undervaluing Kyle Lowry here. And then they give up their 2025... first-round pick. So maybe it's something like this, and that can get Kyle Lowry to Miami. I'm pretty sure the money will work here. If it doesn't, it doesn't, but I'm pretty sure it will. Okay, so maybe Trevor Ariza can't be traded. It's got to wait 19 days. Damn, okay, so that kind of hurts, and maybe the Miami don't make a trade, because I'm sure they would rather trade Trevor Ariza than Kelly Olynyk. And now, yeah, maybe, so would Kelly Olynyk work? It would. Maybe that happens. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe they want Duncan Robinson or their 2022 first. But I do think Kyle Lowry gets traded. If I had to predict which team, I'm going to say Miami over Philly. I don't think Philly pulls the trigger on the trade. But, you know, they might. You never know. Next up on the list, let's see. As we got to just kind of figure out what we want to... Who's the top players here? Tristan Thompson. He's only in there for some other trades. Aaron Gordon. Or, excuse me. Wow. That's not Aaron Gordon. Why? That's Victor Oladipo. That's Victor Oladipo. But yeah, I do think Victor Oladipo will get traded. I think he's the most likely out of every player I've mentioned so far to get traded. And who do I think will trade for Oladipo? I don't know. Maybe it's like the Golden State Warriors and they end up trading like Kelly Oubre for Victor Oladipo, and maybe that works. I don't know, because okay, there's an error here, but that's not what I wanted to see. But like, maybe the Warriors won't happen. I think, I don't know. I think I'm trying to see, like, maybe it's going to be Miami. Maybe Miami goes firm and then they get the bird rights on him and then they could sign him in the offseason. Maybe it's a team like Boston that likes him a lot. If I had, like, I would like to see him in Denver. Like, I think Denver should pull the trigger, and I'm sure Houston would not mind taking on Gary Harris's contract if they're getting additional assets in return, like a Zeke Naji, maybe. Maybe they take a Zeke Naji and their first round pick this year, and they get it done. Like, maybe they just make a lottery protected, and they get it done like that. And that might be a lot for Oladipo, because Oladipo is most likely leaving in free agency if he's staying on the Rockets. So if they're like, oh, we can maybe just try to make a run for him in free agency. But, like, right now, you might as well go for it. Like, LeBron and AD are injured. The Jazz, who knows if they're really going to be the favorites to win the Western Conference. The Clippers, can we trust them? The Suns are good, but this is their first year being good. Obviously, the Lakers are the favorites, but I'm not saying the West is wide open, but the Nuggets can definitely win the Western Conference. And will they? I don't know. Will they make a move to do so? I think they need to. And I think getting Victor Oladipo would be kind of good for them. And, like, if this is the package you're giving up, it's not the end of the world. It really isn't. Like, yes, you'd maybe rather just prefer to give up either the first or Najee, not both. Maybe that ends up getting it done. But I don't know. We'll see. I think there was also like a Lonzo for Bol type of scenario. I don't know. I don't think really Bol should have that much value in the league. But maybe it does happen. Maybe it doesn't. But, like, I think the Nuggets should be at the top of where he can get traded. And then I don't know who else. I don't know. Like, maybe Atlanta likes him. I think Philly would be interesting to maybe go after him. Maybe the Suns. Probably not, actually. Probably not the Suns. The Mavericks could be interested. I do think Oladipo gets traded. If I had to take a guess where, boy, do I have no clue. Do I have no clue where he's going to end up. I'll say Denver, but it's not going to be Denver. I don't think there's any shot he really ends up in Denver. Any other players like Bogdan, I don't think gets traded. Fournier, I think he only gets traded if Aaron Gordon gets traded, which I think will happen, but I'm not sure who will go after Evan Fournier. I don't think DeRozan gets traded. I don't think Norman Powell gets traded. Smart, no. All these guys are because of like other trades. I don't think they trade Vucevic. I think Redick will get bought out. I don't think Kemba will get traded. I don't think Andre Drummond will get traded. Andre will get bought out, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, that's pretty much what I think could happen. I think the major guys that I would bet money on getting traded are Aaron Gordon, Lonzo Ball, Kyle Lowry, and Victor Oladipo. Those are the four players that I think will definitely get traded. Yes, we could see Evan Fournier get traded, or John Collins, or Kelly Oubre, or some other players like that. But I think those are the four guys I would bet money on. And that would be a pretty fun trade deadline. That would be if we saw those four guys get traded. So let me know your trade deadline predictions down below. We will see what happens on Thursday, as you guys are seeing this on Tuesday, and I'm hoping it's just an entertaining one. I really do. Thank you all for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you on the next one.